Meet incredible women transforming challenges into success and redefining empowerment.
Who are rewriting the rules, shattering expectations, and refusing to fade into the background. Empowered women say no to being defined by their challenges in a world that tries to silence and sideline them. She Wears Boldly celebrates the remarkable journeys of women who have transformed their struggles into stepping stones to success. So grab your coffee or tea, settle in, and get ready to be inspired and fired up. 5, 6. Well, hello everyone, and this is Dr. Debra and She Wears Boldly, and it's another great episode we're going to have today. And I'm really looking forward to having you meet our new guest. But before that, I hate to do this, but my lawyers are saying I got to. We're going to read a disclaimer. There's always disclaimers, isn't there anymore? So by the guests on She Wears Boldly program are their own and not necessarily representing the views of She Wears Boldly or its leadership. Well, done with that. All right, now let's get into the really good stuff. All right. Are you ready for Esther? And she's got an amazing story because she works in something different than we've ever covered before. But I'm going to let her tell you all about that. So take it away, Esther.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to join you and everyone. And just to tell a little bit about my story and my background. Last week, I actually celebrated my 50th anniversary in the United States. I came to America in 1976 as a refugee from the former Soviet Union. And, you know, being a refugee or different, it's very, very difficult. We come into a new country. We don't know the language. We don't have really, our family isn't able to advocate for us, not of any fault of their own, but just because life happens. And that kind of set me on a path of needing to be my own advocate, an advocate for my family, and an advocate for others, especially others that perhaps don't have a voice. And through that all, I was able to really tap into a lot of the strength that I have from my own experiences, from my own traumatic experiences, having had a lot of things happened. And recently, several years ago, I began my own healing journey, and I discovered somatic healing, which is something that I do now, and it's really very remarkable. It's really working on the body, learning to, tap into healing that can happen, that's right, that you have all along.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So you're saying it's like inside of us?
Yes, it really is. Your body is really a self-healing mechanism if you give it the right conditions. And those conditions you might not know, because what's normal for us? Normal might be...
Yeah, that's a really big question. What is normal?
Yeah, normal for many of us is actually can be very very inefficient ways, a lot of pain, functioning, and that is our normal, but that's not a way that really helps us to maximize our own potential. We have a lot of things going on in our head. We have a lot of things going on in our bodies, and other people may or may not see it, and it causes us to not make good choices in our lives. And we really struggle. It's every day is just survival, and other people might not see it. It might be, there's an analogy of like a duck, right? A duck swimming on beautifully in a lake, but underneath that duck, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's paddling and just trying to stay above water and survive. So so it's really important to be able to like focus on ourselves, um, and discover tools that can help us heal. And so that we are not always in a survival mode. So this is something I did for me. It's something that helped me tremendously. And then I went and I trained in several different modalities. And it's been really remarkable.
Yeah, I think you're speaking really to everybody,
Oh, yeah.
because if we're honest, we all have that paddling under the surface. I love that illustration, by the way. We're all paddling, trying to survive because the world's not an easy place and it's getting a lot more tense.
Yes,
So
it is.
you're right on spot right now with what I think everybody out there needs.
I completely agree with you. And when I began my training, I began with Dr. Regilina Melrose, who trained under Peter Levine in his somatic experiencing, and she's absolutely a remarkable person, remarkable human, remarkable, just remarkable. And she said that we're really all trauma babies. And I remember when I learned that, I thought, wait a second, I really didn't like that. That was like my first class. What does that mean? Some of us show up and we don't want anybody to see our pain. And to have someone to say, oh, we're just all trauma babies, that
Yeah.
was something kind of difficult for me to bring out into the open. We don't need to define though what trauma is. Trauma is something that happens to us, and it affects the way then that we live our day-to-day life. And it's not about rating it, who has more and who has less. It can be something that someone else might consider trivial, but it's not for us. And we may not even know it because then in other training that I did with Dr. Stephen Terrell with his transforming touch, there's trauma that happens to us when we haven't even been born. And if our mothers are highly stressed, whatever happened to us when we hadn't even been born, it can very much affect us then later in the future, where there's a lot that makes it much more difficult to function.
Yeah, I think us women are a little more in that, but a lot of men, I think, would be very hesitant to, want to share any of that. They got to be big and bold and strong. But I think as women, we're starting to get to the point where we can start to share a little. And how can you encourage women to be okay with their vulnerability?
That's a very good question. I think that vulnerability um, is it's difficult if someone is currently in a traumatic situation in their life, because we have these defensive accommodations, the way that we have to be in order to survive. So how can somebody be vulnerable if they're currently really suffering from whatever is going on?
Yeah.
But I think it's just something that is very important for me personally, is just never to give up, and just to keep on going and keep on searching. And sometimes it comes with, it's easier, other times it's more difficult. we go through a lot of, ups and downs in our day-to-day life. And it's really about how we can come back to being in more of an equilibrium and not have these extreme highs or lows. And when we work on regulation of our nervous system, then that we end up like really helping ourselves. Again, remember, it's the healing comes from within if we're just given the right conditions. And, slowly it gets easier there, that struggle, and to make better decisions and better choices, and just to be happy with who we are and where we're at today.
Yeah.
It's a loaded question.
It's a good answer. So is there something you can show us? I wasn't planning on asking this, but something you can show us, a little thing that, you can do it to me if you want, but yeah, that you can show us about like a little exercise or something that
I'd
you
love
do.
to, I would love to share with you something. So this is something that I learned my very first day of training, and it's so incredibly simple and s- so so helpful. And again, what's fascinating is it's from within. We're just given the right tools. So it's called 60 Seconds, and it was developed by Dr. Reggie Melrose, who was my first teacher. And it takes 1 minute, might take 2 minutes because I'm explaining how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We still got a lot of time.
Okay. So what I invite you to do is notice your feet on solid ground. Okay. Do you notice your feet on solid ground?
Yes.
Okay. And just wiggle your toes and move your heels a little bit into the ground. If you can picture your feet growing roots and connecting to the earth, or perhaps you're on a sandy beach and your feet are, oh, I like that. You closed your eyes. Yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't,
I'm on the beach.
yes, yes. You're on the beach and just notice the water and this and the warm sand on the beach. Okay. Now I'd like you to notice where you're sitting and notice the support of your chair or your couch, wherever you happen to be. Do you notice yourself being supported by that chair or the couch?
Yeah.
Okay. And notice your back being supported. Okay, I noticed that you went back a little bit. So now
Mm-hmm.
you're noticing that support of your chair. And now I'd like you to take a breath in through your nose, just gently, and fill your belly with air. And as you do that, I'd like you to imagine a place in nature that brings you joy. This can be a real place, or it can be an imagined, wherever that is. And I'd like you now to bring everything together, your feet, noticing your feet on solid ground, the support you have where you're sitting and on your back. And take those breaths in through your nose as you imagine that place in nature that's bringing you joy. And if anything comes into your awareness that's worrisome, just for this short time, I'd like you to send it off in a hot air balloon or on a train. Just send off all those thoughts. And as you do this, I'd like you to notice what's happening inside of your body. Remember to take those Breath in through your nose, just slowly, and fill your belly with air. And what are you noticing?
It's relaxing inside of me. It's in my stomach. Everything's in my stomach.
Oh, it's relaxing too, and it's in your
Yeah,
stomach.
my stomach's relaxing and I
Ah,
feel light.
and you feel light. And this is a pleasant, unpleasant?
Yes, very pleasant.
It's very pleasant. And as we train ourselves with these different tools that can help
Yeah.
us, it creates like a healing. And this is something that you're doing yourself. Isn't that wondrous? That you're able to relax, or we don't like to use the word relax. You have a pleasant feeling inside of your body. You can do this anywhere. You can start your day, you can end your day, anytime you really need to be, grounded. And it just takes 60 seconds.
Yeah, I was on the beach because I live across from the beach.
Yeah.
So I was sitting down there and the birds were chirping. The birds were my thing. I could hear the birds chirping.
And had we
That's
done a
weird.
little bit longer, I would have asked you for to give me more information, just like you were giving me about the birds and about if you feel the warmth. And I try to bring the client really where you are right now. Like right now, you're safe. Right now, you're okay. And this is something that's pleasant, and it heals. And you can do it yourself. You don't need to go to somebody. At the beginning, it's something because I never heard about this technique before.
Done some similar because I trained some of this stuff, but yes, I'm not sure where I got it from. But yeah, it really does help,
It
you
really,
know. And you should have been doing that at the beginning of our thing, see?
yeah.
She was nervous, guys. It's okay. You got, and that's great that you're brave enough to come on here when it was a nervous experience. And I think other people should be encouraged by that.
Yes,
Don't be afraid to try things.
absolutely. And I love that you said that I wasn't afraid, or that I was afraid. I see myself now as having the rest of my life to have so many amazing experiences and really enjoying them. As and I try by doing this work on myself, with the practitioner as well, to continue to be okay and continue to heal myself, and really loving being in the moment, and just looking forward to a future.
Yeah, it's every time I go on the stage, and I've done 30 plus in 2.5 years, I still have that tension, that worry, that craziness in my head.
Yeah.
And I think when you lose it, you lose your power up on the stage. I'll be honest with you. So beforehand, the exercise I did with you beforehand and another one, I do that before I walk up because I have to do what you just did with me. I got to center myself in a calm place.
And
It
it
doesn't
worked.
mean I'm calm when I get up there because I'm never calm like that, but my spirit is. And I think our spirit is where that release. Am I wrong or right? I don't know. You're the expert.
Well, I'd like to say something else, that this is what this work does is it's a bottom-up approach. So it's not about going to like a psychotherapist and leaving with ideas that what you can do. And then it's very difficult to implement things when it's just in your head, because your body is really feeling a terrible discomfort, or you have reactions, you have triggers that happen. But when you have a bottom-up approach, and this is not work that's experiential, meaning that you and I do this together. It's like a trainer. And now you have had this experience, And that experience becomes a part of you, that pleasant experience. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes, you got it. It's experiential, and it's right here in the moment. And it's not like some idea. It's your body has physically experienced that pleasantness of what it is to be, grounded or relaxed. And there's so much more to it.
Yeah.
So
But that's a nice, simple thing you could do anywhere.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
And
If you're feeling that going in you. I love that.
exactly. And you know what? When you wiggle your toes and you're up on stage, nobody knows that you're wiggling your toes. And
Exactly.
yeah. And when you take those slow breaths to slow yourself down, that's something also that's not going to be, nobody's really going to know what you're doing, but it's all helping you be right here in the moment at the best way that you can be. And then it's that experience that you did it, and it's okay, and you're going to be okay because you've already done it. You've had that experience of being on stage or wherever or whatever else is difficult.
Well, for a lot of people, it's just walking into a meeting and giving their ideas.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of what I work with too, is people in these situations, because we have to share and we have to lead sometimes when we're nervous or when we're not 100% certain. So we need techniques like what you're teaching to center ourselves, whatever our job is, before we deal with other things. Yeah, I love that.
Right. Now there's another modality that I work with. It's called transforming touch, and you kind of led right into it. It was developed by Dr. Stephen Terrell. And there are people that even giving feedback is something that's very difficult for them.
Oh,
Like you
yeah,
said,
absolutely.
they have no voice. They don't know where that voice is. So there's certain places on the body where we offer like support, and um, yeah, it's called transforming touch, and it helps with like developmental trauma, and the person doesn't even need to speak because it really helps just with primitive reflexes and with helping regulate and support the nervous system. Our nervous system is the most neglected part of our body, of our being.
I'm feeling very peaceful.
Yeah, okay. So that's it's all over.
Wow. I'm
Yeah, and
feeling, I'm still on the beach, okay?
okay.
We're sitting down on the beach talking
Now,
now.
can I be there in the beach right there with you?
Yes. I'm just telling you, folks, this works. Listen to this lady. It works. It sticks with you. You don't just walk away from it. It's kind of part of you for a while. I see that.
And what's interesting is there's something called neural pruning, and that's where the more positive experiences that you have, that builds new neural highways. So the more the positive experiences become like dominant, and those triggers and those negative experiences, they kind of go away, or they're not there often. And that's that experience. The more you see that this is okay and I can do it and I'm okay, that becomes that's it's just so healing. Imagine being in a room, like you said, in a meeting, and there are people sitting there that have no voice, or they're always apologizing for their ideas, and they're so lack of confidence. It's so sad.
It is. And again, we could go on the road together, because that's another thing. I have to work with people to stop apologizing. Even if you're feeling it inside, stop,
Yes.
because you dilute your message.
There,
And they usually have an incredible message.
Yes, we all have an incredible message. We all have an incredible story. We do.
Right.
And I love the name of your podcast. She roars boldly.
Or supposedly.
And so many of us can roar boldly, but there are people are afraid, maybe, from whatever traumatic situations that they had. But you can get better.
Exactly. There's so many, and like we were talking before, and with the world the way it's going now, it's a lot of people are real afraid.
Yeah.
Do you have something to say to the people that are concerned about all the unrest that's happening? I know a lot of countries live with that. America really doesn't as much. And I know we're going across the world now. So, how do we deal with what's happening that we obviously we have no control over what's happening in the world? So,
You're right. We don't have control. And I think there's so much out there that is controlling us. Okay, the media, the
yeah.
social media and news, a lot of fear. There's people that live in just constant fear, and it's being fed by the media. And it's very easy to go into that place of, doom and gloom, because that's exactly what they want. But using certain somatic techniques that work on your body, you can feel okay right here where you're at, and push those other thoughts away, at least at the beginning. And we just have to keep on trying and looking for ways that we can heal, and that we can be more productive, and that we can love ourselves and love our families and connect with other people.
I love that. Very, very good.
Are we going to go on a tour together now?
Yeah. I'm still on the beach. um, she gave me some questions just in case I didn't come up with something. But I really like this last question you wrote. On a personal, what does healing look like for you in your own life right now? And I think that's something everybody should be asking. I love that question. What does it look like for you right now? Tell us, and maybe you can inspire some other people out there.
Again, we all come from our own unique and incredible lives. So, for me, healing is to be able to be here with you right now and to share a part of my story. For me, it's also about having a voice, not just being a voice for others, but having my own voice. Sometimes it's easy to be an advocate for others. It's more difficult to be an advocate for yourself. Okay. It's also having my own self-love and meeting myself where I'm at. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And that's something that's just so important, to be okay. Right? Okay isn't like spectacular, and it's not down. It's like okay. Yeah. And for many people that have been through their own, traumatic whatever, it's so important to be okay and present. I'm going to get through it. And right here, sitting where I am, I'm fine. I'm sitting in my chair and I'm being supported and not having my mind wander about, different worries. So these are tools that I myself, that I learned and that I work on myself. And it's really, really remarkable
Yeah, I know people out there listening are going through stuff. I think we're always going through something, right? I mean,
Yeah,
life has a way of throwing things at. But I love what you said about the media too, because the media, I was just thinking that the other day, how much fear it brings in. It's just constantly, and you can't seem to get it off your phone. It just keeps popping up there, and they always take the worst possible scenario. And
absolutely.
we can't live like that because we just can't. Well, we can't live fully like that, letting that throw us side to side, you know. So when they take your work with you on these techniques and stuff, that will probably help level that back and forth thing and get them more center, correct?
I would just want to share with you something that happened to me in the middle of the night, which hasn't happened in a very long time. I woke up and actually I was still sleeping and I was having this, I don't know, pseudo dream state where I'm going to be on the show with you and I can't find the link. And somehow I'm late and I have a big problem with being late. I'm on time. So, in this pseudo dream state, I'm late. And then no matter what I do, I cannot find your message, what link to press, how to get on the show. And I woke up and my heart is just like really beating. This happened a few hours ago. And that really shows how like trauma can it really impacts us. It impacts us even in our sleep. And why? Everything's okay. I'm okay. I know how to do this. I got this. I got this. I could do this. So it's really not about changing who you are. It's about knowing that people are going to have these situations where you're going to have a trigger. But it's how you come back to being in something called the zone, this 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to be okay, and how fast you can come back to it.
I love that.
I found the link.
You found like I would have found you. Don't worry. Sometimes I lose the link. Yeah, I mean, I have that same fear. I can't find the person.
Right.
And we've done that before. But, you know, and I think it's because our subconscious and our dreams will kind of play out what we're worried about in real life. Isn't it true?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. But yeah, well, I'm glad you found the link. And believe it or not, we're over 30 minutes, but it's been really fun. I love that we did some interactive there and you taught. I might have to come back and teach some more. Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to.
All right. Well, we'll have to do that in a month. So back up here. I really like the interactiveness of it and enjoyed it. Okay, so now's your time to shine. Tell them what your program's about and how to get a hold of you. And I think she already sent me the links. I think you're ahead. But we'll have her links out in the call notes and you can get in touch with her if you want to know more about all this. So go ahead, shine.
I'm a somatic practitioner, and I work on Zoom, and I also work in person with women, and it's something called uh, SRT, which is self-regulation training, and transforming touch. They're two different somatic modalities, and they both work on like healing the nervous system. It's something that's really amazing. It's helped me, it's helped so many others. And it is all over the world. There's many different practitioners. There's many modalities. This is just something that I had trained in, and I love it. It's been very transformative for me and from countless others. I love interacting with people. I love teaching them something that their body's really that self-healing mechanism if given the right conditions. And yeah, I anybody who's interested is welcome to reach out to me. And you have my contact information.
Yeah. Okay, one question I ask everybody. What does She Roars Boldly mean to you?
Oh, I love that question. Well, when I hear it, when I read it, I just see in myself a, so much power and so much strength. And so it's like a vision. I see this that I can take anything on. And so that's why the name, every time I read it, I think that's just amazing. And we all have that in ourselves, whatever that means for us. And I can do it, and so can you.
I love that. It's funny because some people, it's a soft whisper is roaring boldly for them. It's very interesting to see all the different answers. Maybe I'll go through and cut them all out and do a so
Yeah.
everybody has a moment. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Because it's personal. Like you said, it's personal. We all have a different way of roaring. And it doesn't have to be loud.
I like that. It's absolutely true. And we all come with our story.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us are wrong, and none of us, it's all what it means to me that's important. It's not about being like you. It's about our own uniqueness and where we can go.
Exactly. You nailed it right on the head.
Yeah.
Well, again, thank you so much for sharing, and we may have her back for a training session. I think that would be fun. I love that. So again, I hope you enjoyed our episode, and I thank our guests, and I thank all you who are listening across the world again, everywhere from Vietnam to Australia to Morocco, and of course, all our wonderful US friends. And I just want to thank you for tuning in and supporting us. And this is Dr. Debra with She Roars Boldly, telling you to have a great week and try going to the beach a little bit in your mind, because I really still feel really good. So thank you all.